Hail and well met. Welcome to a very special episode of the Dungeon Scrawlers. It is a guest DM'd adventure run by my old friend Chris Oliveira, but I'm going to tell you about that in a second. First, I'm going to say I am Eric Scott DeB, and I am usually the DM of this campaign, but not always, not tonight. And these are the Dungeon Scrawlers, or at least some of them. We have Randy and Rhiannon, who are regular players. Allie Pitchford, who you probably recognize from lots of games before, also known as Shay Darksong, one of our mods. And of course, Chris Oliveira, who is an old friend of mine in kind of that Joseph Conrad, the duelist sort of way. Anyway, but enough about that. What I wanted to tell you about is a book that we are giving away, thanks to friend of the show, Scott James Magner. It's called Homefront. Oh, yes, there we go. There's the art. Set against the backdrop of a far future Earth struggling to reinvent itself after a technological disaster, Homefront is an uncompromising adventure story about what it truly means to be human. In the 27th century, the transgenic virus has prompted the exiles of Earth's outer colonies to evolve different genetic advantages over their ancestors, and they are coming home to claim their birthright. Featuring complex characters and edge of your seat action sequences, Homefront will have readers guessing until the very last page. I
And
know
I know,
Scott, he is an excellent writer. I think you will not be disappointed. So,
yeah. And I don't know, I know Scott, you've updated it, but I was just curious if you updated your author photo in the thing because here you got your cop stash. I think that's like is this a collector's item? Like the
put that
version
up
that I
closer.
have
Put that up closer. Let me see.
with the yeah.
Ah, yeah, there's the man. Anyway,
He
thanks,
does not
Scott.
look like that right now.
Thanks, Scott. Highly recommend people check out that book. And on that note, take it away, Rhiannon.
Okay, I'm Rhiannon Held, author of urban fantasy under Rhiannon Held and space opera under RZ Held. And I have some stuff to tell you about our sponsors and then also a giveaway of my own. Our first sponsor is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons and Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Frida, Havilar, and Mehen from the Brimstone Angels novels. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Web, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices, and probably more by now. This is a little bit of an old thing. For more information, check out idlechampions.com. Our other partners do dice. Norse Foundry does metal dice and gaming accessories. You can find that at norsefoundry.com. And Phoenix Dice does recycled dice. And you can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com. And tonight, as well as chance to win the copies of Homefront, you can also get a new tie-in short story from me featuring my character Artemisia from the main plotline. And that is going to be free to download either on Amazon through the link that I'm going to put in chat, or you can come on our Discord and get it in PDF. And that's free until Sunday. And also all the other tie-in stories are also free during that period. So if you have not been here before and are curious, I've got fantasy, I've got sci-fi, I've got Lovecraft pastiche, featuring our characters and featuring Artemisia and all kinds of different stuff. So check out the link and pick one and you can try it out.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Randy. Randy Henderson, and I'm an author as well. You can check out my Fin Fantasy series from Tor. And I just wanted to mention that we are supporting the charity Trevor Project. I'm also a volunteer there, so they're an incredible organization. They are the largest organization supporting LGBTQ youth, crisis intervention, suicide prevention, serving primarily, it's in the United States, and youth defined somewhere between like 13 and 24. But they have a ton of resources as well, so you can reach out if you want to be an ally, or if you are if you're outside the US or outside those age, you can still go to their site. Tons of great resources. And yeah, please give. There's a lot of youth in need right now.
Nice.
All right. Well, I am Alexandra Pitchford, or Allie, or Shay Darksong, whatever you want to go with. I am a writer and game designer with several published short stories at this point and a serialized novella that I'm working on. And I also want to let you all know that the Dungeon Scrawlers are still taking donations for the a bit of new artwork of the main Westgate Irregulars team to commemorate the end of book 3 and moving on to book 4. So if you want to donate to that, the Ko-fi link is down way at the bottom of the doobly doo. And yeah, all help is welcome.
Nice. And Chris, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm your guest DM for the evening, and as Eric points out, he and I are old Gen Con friends, largely from the Candlekeep Presents seminars. We share a love of Forgotten Realms and pure evil.
Yep,
going back
that is
almost a
true.
That's
decade.
fair.
So, and this particular style of adventure is something that I've been banging on about since I've met Eric, and I
He
think
literally brings it up every time. Yeah.
I so do. It is my one-trick pony. So, I mean, you have a one-trick pony, you're forced to ride it, Eric. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
And, I have been riding this pony into the ground for near on 2 decades. Although I've only really been bothering you about it for about a single decade. It took you 10 years to play, but here you are. So, success.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, that's the average time to like get a D&D group to actually all show up
It-
together at the same
it
time
really
and play a
is.
game, right? Like,
Get
so
everybody to commit.
you're on
to,
track. Yeah.
Organizational structure, yeah, that's about right.
I was telling somebody, I think it was on Twitter today, they were like, yeah, now that we oh, so you like D&D? Okay, schedule a session. And I'm like, you know what? That is very true. But at the same time, this is why a lot of live games happen, is because we just want to get people to commit to playing a game every week. Anyway. All right.
So very true.
So whenever you're ready, Chris.
All right, excellent. Do you want me to give folks a general idea of what this whole darn thing's about, or do you want me to just plunge right in?
However you want to do it, buddy.
All right, I'll give people a general idea. Since it's not just us kids, it's everybody watching. I'll give people a general idea about what this is about. The first set of fantasy novels I ever read was Chronicles of Narnia. Actually, before I ever got my hands on, Lord of the Rings. And one of the conceits at the heart of the Chronicles of Narnia is that at least in the first book or two, that the kids are from Earth. And so when many, many, many moons ago, I discovered Ed's Forgotten Realms, one of the things I liked the most about it was the idea that there was to be linkage between our world and that world. It was very Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe for me. And so ever since then, I've been trying to run games where I take people that are players with varying levels of knowledge about the realms. I think this is probably going to be the group with the greatest level of knowledge about the realms pre-game, and statted them out and dropped them into the fantasy world instead of having them run, intermediary characters. And it's an interesting idea that I think everybody should try at least one point in their RPG career if you haven't given it a whirl. There are entire game systems based on the concept, so it's not like it's anything new under the sun, but it's something I've been doing for a bit, and like I said, it can be a lot of fun. It's really easy to role play because you know your own motivations better than anyone else's in the world, so it's really not hard to think about what you might do in the circumstance. It's just interesting to see the choices that some people end up making. But enough about that. So the great thing about it as well is that it doesn't really require a lot of preparation. In fact, you'll notice that everyone doesn't have classes, levels, or any real information about themselves on their character descriptions. That's largely because I discovered in all cases but one, so Allie, you might be able to surprise me, but in all cases but one, that nobody here was a, champion mixed martial artist or someone that's special forces CIA operative or, a secret occultist in their spare time. And so really everyone is who they are sitting around the table, and we'll discover what skills they possess as we go. It also doesn't require much by way of pre-character generation and or preparation. In fact, all I'd ask of you all is that you have a set of dice. We're actually going to run this in, buckle in, 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons, because that is my game of love. That's what I grew up on. I know I look 12, but I'm not. And as opposed to 5th, but the rules differences will not be wildly noticeable. I'll ask you to roll dice you need to roll, and then tell you what happens as a consequence of it. Your players are always going to have capacity to surprise me, so we'll see what happens, but I suspect that the rules will be light. So dice, if you've got a set of those, pen or a pencil, dealer's choice, something to write on, pen, pad, scrap of human flesh, whatever you've got lying around. And if you could, for a moment, engage in the exercise of writing down, just simply, the things that are on. Oh, excellent, Eric. You get a gold star. You are at the head of the class. Write down on that pad with that writing implement just the items that are on your person, not what's in your wingspan on the desk, but what you're wearing and carrying, really.
I cheated. I packed myself a backpack.
I saw that bag strapped over your shoulder.
But I will let you overrule it as a DM. Like an hour before, I run around like, oh my gosh, yeah, if I'm going to the realms, I'm going to need a few things.
I'm
really
him overrule it.
I'm really good at handling anything anyone can throw at me. So whatever you've got in there, let's just make sure it's written down.
Okay. All right.
So take a few moments to do that. While you guys do that, I'll entertain our audience with the fact that you're going to discover, along with our players, where, when, and why. Well, although you might not get all the answers to why, they're here over the course of it. And so it's sort of like truth revealed, if you will. They don't know anything other than that there's a pretty strong expectation that they'll be playing in the Forgotten Realms. And so I didn't give them much of a warning beyond that hint that, hey, maybe you can bring some things. So we'll see what people have managed to dredge up. But I don't want to take too much time on this. So what I'll do while you're finishing your list is sort of describe the scene. And then by the time you're done writing, I'll be able to ask you what you do. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Excellent. So the last thing you remember is that you were sitting down to have your standard pregame chat, and you're having a lovely conversation, mostly about TV shows and things that you'd read or absorbed over the course of the summer. And the next thing you recall, you were about to take the break before the game began. And now you will awake in a forest at night. It's warm, probably in the 70s. The ground around you is a meadow, sort of like high grass. You can see by the light of the moon, which is obscured by clouds, trees around you. So you know you are, roughly speaking, in the center of a clearing, which is a meadow within that forest. The clearing isn't very large. You're laying on your back in grass and flowers that are 18 to 24 inches tall, so it's really hard to gauge exactly how tall it is till someone gets at least up onto their knees. But you're struck by the fact that you can smell an assortment of really interesting smells. It's recently rained. As a matter of fact, you can see with the clouds passing across the moon and hear in the distance distant thunder, feeling the grass wet around you. So you're wet on your back and on your sides, but not on your front. You smell that sort of like smell of fresh ionized sky and rain, flowers, the forest, and air, which is as clean and pure as you've smelled anywhere outside of a trip well away from the well-trod paths of civilization.
Or nowhere near Westgate then. Okay.
Oh, perhaps we'll see where you are. But right at this particular moment, it seems unlikely. You can hear the sounds of the wind and the drips of rain coming down from the leaves of the forest, the chirps of insects about you, and there are twinkling lights up above where you can see. You've all come to at about the same moment. You're feeling a bit groggy and disoriented, and you're starting to wonder what that crazy Chris did.
Wow, this
oh
new
my God.
VTT is amazing.
I always wanted this to happen. This is awesome. And Allie, I get to actually like give you a hug if you're a hugger. I don't know if you're a hugger, or we can bump fists if you're
Like,
a fist bumper.
I'm definitely a hugger. I'm definitely a hugger.
I get to hug you. I get to actually
Yeah.
meet you. This is awesome.
So you two will spring up and move to hug each other.
Okay. Yes.
You know, I'm sorry. This was my idea. I didn't know this would happen. I mean, I kind of knew this would happen, but I didn't know this would happen.
I mean, hey, look, am I really going to complain about this? Do you really think I'm going to complain about this?
All right, well, like,
Oh wait.
my old friend Emily has told me a few things. So,
Uh-huh.
first of all, who would like this?
I mean,
What I
I'll
wanna
take
know-
it.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to hand it to Allie.
What I
Okay.
want to know as a person, Eric, is where you're keeping that.
I have a messenger bag.
Yeah. All right. All
The
right.
short sword fits in my messenger
I've
bag.
got my K-bar, so
This thing I was
Yeah.
just carrying, though. Who wants this one? I think I'll take this one if it's okay with everybody.
So,
Well, so I mean, I on my keys, it's stabbing me in my leg here. I got a pocket knife. Ooh, look at that!
yes.
Stab somebody in your eye.
I think Eric might have you on reach.
I think
Yeah.
I'm like the least prepared. I
Although-
have a cell phone. Like
Oh.
this is no good here.
I also
flashlight.
have a pocket knife.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Eric,
oh, cell phone with 94% battery, and I have a lot
I
of
mean-
music downloaded on it. So
Yeah.
you know,
So
I got-
keep voice notes.
Yeah,
I
hand
gotta be
this-
honest. I think if we end up having to use these weapons, we're probably screwed. But
Probably,
Good to
but
have
you,
'em.
you never know. Randy, Rhiannon.
I mean,
okay, Rhiannon, here you
knife.
go.
all right. So to recap, we have a brief exchange of hugs.
And
Which
here are these for you. If these are throwing knives,
I actually know how to use those. I'll take those.
good. Hand these
gets
to
you on your feet. When you're up on your feet, before Eric stands up, towering over all of you, handing
Oh, yeah.
out gifts like he's a demented Santa Claus,
Deadly.
Chris!
cursing out like James T. Kirk into the night.
Yep.
You'll note that the field that you're in is about 40 by 40 oval in size. There are the slightly glowing things are the local equivalent of fireflies. You would normally expect fireflies to be yellowish green. These are more greenish blue than the fireflies that you are used to. Eric will hand out weapons to all of you. And just to sort of take the inventory. So, Allie, I think you got a long sword. Does that sound right, Eric?
I gave Allie the short sword.
All right, short sword.
Works for me.
Okay. Randy has both a
It's about
Big knife?
18 inches
Yes.
long.
and
Yeah.
a set of throwing daggers that I think you handed
Throwing
off. Is that
knives?
correct?
3
Yeah.
throwing knives.
3 throwing knives. Okay.
They come in a
Rhiannon
little
has
case.
a very small, pokey object, and also something else. that she-
Argentinian Bowie knife is what it is.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
I don't know that I
it's
would
not really a Bowie
necessarily
knife. It's a cowboy knife.
Yep.
take that because I feel like I want to avoid combat.
Rhiannon, just wear it at your belt. And then
Are you
if
wearing a-
anybody's
are you
giving
wearing a
you
belt?
bad, you just like tap the hilt. Look, you
I don't-
play
I
a
don't
high charisma character. I know you know how this works. You can be intimidating, right?
Yeah,
All
someone's
right.
like less likely to jump like 4 armed people than they are to
Yeah, all
jump.
right.
If anyone's going to pass themselves off as a wizard, it's going to be you, Rhiannon.
Sorcerer.
Exactly.
And you,
Okay.
Eric, And you, Eric, are carrying what? Like a hand and a half sword, bastard sword, long
Oh,
sword?
it's a long sword. Yeah.
Standard long sword. Where are you guys putting these things? Or are you just sort of carrying around these pointy objects in your hands?
I mean, I don't actually have a belt, but my jacket pockets are fairly capacious, so I think that I could sort of like
I can
put it where it could stay.
I can slide the short sword through my belt or something.
Okay. Eric is
Great.
attempting to look as badass as possible by putting it on his shoulder.
Badass
And then
as
like
possible.
slicing his neck.
It's not
He's got-
that
he's got
sharp.
something up in the way of the neck. I'll ask you about how sharp it is later. Someone else also mentioned a cell phone.
Yes.
Yep.
I
So
have my.
Pull that up and go to look at it. It's a brick in your hand.
Okay.
Do you want to attempt to turn it on and test its battery string?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Magic probably shorted it out.
You're getting nothing there. You'll have to sort that one out at a later date.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you're
Yeah,
getting
I'll
nothing there.
There's
I'll put it back
platinum
in my
these things,
pocket.
right?
I'm sorry, say again, Eric?
There's platinum in these things, right?
Oh, there's all sorts of interesting materials in those things, but I don't know you'll be able to scrape it together into something you can spend. We'll see.
Yep.
Find yourself some gnomes. Anyway, so you'll all stand up. You'll all see that the weather is passing. You'll all arm each other.
Boy.
Really, Eric armed you all. And you'll get a glimpse at the moon.
I take care of my players. That's what we're saying.
All right, fair enough. Noted.
Ah,
Somewhere in the images that I sent to your technical wizard are at least 2 images of the moon. Is there a way to put those up in your channel so that you
Yeah.
can see them?
Oh,
Okay.
that is gorgeous.
You'll notice something is unusual about the moon beyond the fact that it doesn't possess the usual craters and seas that you would expect of Earth's moon. In fact, it seems to be trailed by something. Well, a whole set of somethings, really. And it is full or near to full. Do you recognize what you are looking at?
I don't.
those would be the tears of Selune, I suppose.
Tears of Selune.
That seems very likely, Eric.
The asteroids?
Oh, I'd always wanted to see this.
It is a breathtaking sight. Those of you wearing glasses, however, will notice something. Your distance vision is getting a little blurry. Have you ever put on someone else's glasses and the prescription is just too strong?
Oh, what? So I got contacts. Am I having the same trouble?
You are.
Oh.
Allie, I see you took your glasses off.
Yeah.
You will notice as soon as you do that your vision is 20/20.
Ooh, this is
Like a-
awesome.
Actually,
it's
probably the first thing I did on waking up, because I have a very strong prescription. So if it's been corrected, I would have been like, what is happening? They must be out
Yeah,
of alignment.
like I'll straight up do this because like one of my eyes is weak, and so that's like, oh wow,
Not
It's a Toby
anymore.
Maguire moment.
having binocular vision.
Did I
What's
get
this?
abs? Oh,
No.
Actually, like I was gonna be like, I'm like, I'm not gonna be the downer. I'm not gonna say we got to get out of here in 24 hours because I can't wear my contacts longer than that, and then I will take them out and I will be blind. But like now, I don't have to worry about that. That's kind of awesome.
I'll take mine off and I'll put them in a pocket because like there's if they're making it worse, no reason to keep
Oh, is
them
it safe
on.
to say that everyone stows their glasses?
yeah, stows
I
my
mean,
glasses.
my contacts, like once you take them out, they're
They're done.
trash. So
Yep.
And this is a great relief, actually, because I was very worried about, like, we're not going to be inoculated against whatever weird diseases and pathogens they have in the Forgotten Realms. But this
Well, we're
seems
probably
like
going to kill anybody we come into contact with.
that's true.
Anyone who doesn't have access to a priest to heal them immediately.
Eric, you're always seeing the upside of these situations. and
I really am.
Yeah.
We are walking contagions, my friends.
Delightful news.
Get back, or I will breathe on you.
You know, in all the years I've done this, no one's pointed that out. That's great to know. It's almost
Well-
like a virologist on staff, but we'll see how that all plays out when you meet someone or something.
So in my bag that I bring to all my D&D games,
Mhm.
right? That's why I have it. I happen to have this bag of KN95, so I'm just going to hand these out. Each
Well,
one
I
of you
mean-
gets one for poison gas issues. I don't know.
It's like right sitting in my pocket because like this is the jacket I wear.
There you
Oh,
are.
great.
So
You're all bandits. I mean, well equipped with masks. Delightful.
Yes, we'll put these on and then no one will recognize us. Okay. Do we see any landmarks around us?
There are the only thing that you really notice once you get a chance to get on your feet and stop gawking at the sky, and each other and your bladed weapons and your N95 masks, is that the trees on the two sides of the clearing differ from each other. On the right hand side, we'll use right hand side for our purposes. The trees are taller, maybe 60 feet tall, with thick black trunks, and a delicate web of leaves at the top. Your technical wizard would be able to pull up a picture, an awful one, of these trees somewhere amongst the various things that I sent to him, if he's able to do so. So trees, they're fairly densely packed. Their bark is black, and it is, for want of a better term, fairly spooky off in that direction. On the left-hand side of the clearing, there are a different type of tree. These are maybe 40 feet, where the other trees are 60 feet tall. The trunks of these trees are sinuous and thinner. They sort of snake their way into the sky, and they've, about 2/3 of the way up, start to branch out into leaves. Those leaves look a little bit like maple leaves, but they're an electric blue. And they almost reflect electric blue in the moonlight. That's what's around you. Could everyone please roll a 20-sided die?
like in either of
Well.
those kinds of trees.
Yeah, I rolled a 14.
That's a critical miss for me. I mean, skill check. It's 1 plus whatever, but
We'll see. So you rolled a 1, Rhiannon.
Yep.
Okay.
I rolled
Eric
a 13.
and Randy.
14.
All right. Welcome to Ability Checks in 2nd edition. A 1 is the best thing you can roll.
really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So while
Yes.
everyone else is
You die. You thought you got me, but you didn't.
while everyone else is looking around at the trees, Rhiannon, you
This is just the beginning of the two.
you will
I
hear
guess.
something that you'll wonder if anyone else can hear, and that's a little disconcerting. And that is the howl in the distance of what sounds like a wolf. No one else seemed to pick up on this yet.
Probably still gawking at the moon, honestly.
You hear the terrible
So-
sound of Thackeray approaching.
So
You know, I didn't.
I don't
didn't
know
think he
about,
could do
like-
it. I didn't think he could bring us here, but he did.
tree types, but what about animals? Because do people hear the? I mean, it sounds like a wolf. I suppose it'll be like a blue wolf or something. But
I didn't hear anything.
Almost
Ah.
as if on cue, when Rhiannon says that, a heartbeat or two later, you will clearly hear in the distance the sound of a wolf howling.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, wait. Another. Oh, gee. It sounds like there's a few of them.
Oh no.
no,
Hey,
I mean, not to be the like overly practical one, but actually, I mean, they can't have been habituated to. I mean, not humans, but like people, and so they'll just be afraid of us. They're not going to attack.
Unless they're used to adventurers.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
we probably resemble a gang of adventurers.
Somebody
so-
armed you.
in which case, because like when they become habituated, it's because people are feeding them. So they're like, these people are great. We will come and be around them. So
You
if
mean, like,
adventurers are
feeding them-
attacking them all the time, they're gonna way avoid us.
You mean like
Yeah.
feeding them themselves? Because I'm worried if those wolves come, we'll be feeding them all right.
I mean,
All right.
yeah.
I have no time for like evil wolves. I'm just saying. I've
Okay.
done a
Well-
lot of research into wolf behavior, and they are
Okay.
not evil.
Well,
So,
regardless,
are you
staying in
familiar-
one.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ali.
Like, regardless, I think staying in one spot might be a poor choice right now. We should probably figure out a direction to go.
Do we
And
see
Rhiannon, what I
any-
was going to ask you was, if you've done a lot of research into wolves, would you be able to recognize different wolf howls or sounds if you heard them?
Not because it's been reading, I wouldn't necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, what I would probably be doing is like, I know that they howl within a pack to like sort of find out where the other pack members are, and then they howl at greater distances from pack to pack to be like, hey, I'm over here, don't come in my territory. So, and when they're in a pack together, they do a group howl. So I'd sort of be doing a like, can I hear a bunch of voices, or am I hearing like lone voices, kind of like that kind of thing, but not more than that.
Please roll yet another 20-sided die for me.
Okay. 4.
All right. Again, welcome to rolling low in second edition Dungeons and Dragons. You are a master at it. There are at least a dozen different voices in that pack. They are calling out to each other, almost as if they're attempting to communicate with one another. Perhaps these are smarter than the standard wolf. And that noise seems to be coming from the right, which is the direction of the black trunk trees that are spooky.
So it sounds to me like it's a pack, and so I agree with Ali, we don't need to go towards them, we should go away from them, but I don't know that they'll necessarily be following us. I think they're just going to do their pack business. And anyway, let's go to the not black trees, right?
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
the not spooky side. I'm down for that. Yeah.
Do we see any like smoke or signs of a path or a road or anything?
Absolutely none.
Okay.
This clearing was created either by a very large fallen tree or a series of very large fallen trees, a fire, or perhaps a lightning strike at some point in the past. But the meadow is about 2 feet tall, so a reasonable point in the past.
Okay. Yeah, let's head toward the nicer looking trees.
All right.
Trees that look like they're going to blast us with lightning. While they're discussing that, I'm just going to discreetly pee on a tree trunk. Just in case these are like werewolves, maybe they'll think that, someone else marked this territory and they won't go past that point,
I did mention that the moon was full or almost full, didn't I?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Good.
So, pee on the black trees or pee on the blue trees?
Ooh, black trees. The blue ones look like they'd shock me. That's like peeing on an electric fence, I'm guessing, probably. So.
Okay.
It's
So-
amazing. Randy's exactly like Rogard.
Whereas like the inner Rhiannon is like, well, actually on Mythbusters they proved that like the stream is not continuous enough to be electrocuted in that manner, because it's actually like sort of a series of drops, so it won't travel back up.
This
They
stream-
tested it.
I
this
saw that
stream
episode
is
as
very
well.
continuous. Okay, so you, Randy, are peeing on a tree.
Yeah.
And the rest of you are sort of walking calmly, hustling, jogging towards the blue trees. Is there someone in the lead?
Oh, I meant to do that while they were discussing their plan to move
Got
in
it.
the direction.
You have
I'll-
succeeded
Well,
in
Eric,
lead-
if Eric
I'll
goes
take
first,
the
he
lead,
clears
sure.
the spider webs.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
true.
go
It's true.
after.
100% true.
Yeah, I'll follow along behind Eric. I'll probably have the short sword out at this point, just in case. But
I call
yeah.
not last, so I think
I'll
that's
go
you,
last.
Randy.
I'll bring up the rear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in a rough, ragged line. You will make your way to the middle of these blue maple-like trees. They're trees.
They
Do
are
you wish
very
to do
pretty.
anything to or about them, or would you just like to admire their beauty while moving in this direction?
I'll hold my phone against the trunk and see if it charges it.
Why electrical? Why?
Because they're
why
like
is-
this
Oh.
glowy blue, and they're.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Well, I
know.
mean,
that's
so
just-
if you're gonna test where your hand might hit it, what you do is you do the back of your hand, because if you do the front of your hand, it clenches because of the muscle
Hmm.
movements with the
And then you'll
electricity.
clench
So
the tree, right?
yeah, so
Yeah.
then you can't pull away. So what
Oh,
you
I
do
was
is
gonna
you
touch
touch
the
with
back
the back.
of my phone too.
Okay, just making sure that your hand wasn't gonna like.
Yeah, yeah.
It probably
Alright.
will conduct through your phone to your hand. But anyways,
Like,
You
as
will-
soon as we landed here, I thought to myself, okay, I'm sorry that I did this to all of us. It is my job to keep us alive. And now I am starting to think that that might be impossible.
hey, I'm
Oh,
working.
no,
with
no,
you.
you're going to be fine, Rhiannon. And
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Allie. Randy, you are going to get yourself killed immediately.
Randy, if you make sure- if you
I'm
make sure
playing
you go-
myself.
Just
If it
touch
makes you
everything.
feel better- If it makes you feel better, you're on page 4 of 30 pages of notes. So you got this, buddy. You got this.
Yeah.
You will touch your phone to the tree trunk.
Yeah.
Absolutely no effect whatsoever.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. Thought maybe it would, like, because it has the contacts charging. Maybe there was some electricity in that there tree. I don't know. We're in the Forgotten Realms. Who knows?
I'm looking around
Yeah.
for footprints or signs of a camp or like people passing this way, broken twigs.
Any sign of any kind of trail or civilization. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Okay. And you will begin moving with purpose
Mm,
through the
mhm.
forest at night in this general direction.
I mean, I imagine we can't make much headway because nobody's phone flashlights will work, and unless there's a trail, though, I guess the glowy blue trees are. Sort
Oh
of,
my.
okay.
Oh my.
So the lights should go at the front.
Let's talk about that device, shall we?
Okay.
I'm assuming that what it does is one cranks it to generate electricity, which then lights a light. Is that an
Yes.
accurate statement?
Yes. Yes.
It is as dead as a doornail.
Ah.
Yeah.
Does the radio work though? No, just kidding. All right.
Dead
see,
as a
you-
doornail.
There have been
I
multiple
think
canon explanations for all this, but I think we're stuck in a version of the realms where technology just doesn't function.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
There's enough ambient light filtering its way through the trees that you're not going to collide with them moving at night, Rhiannon. So you can make progress. It's just not particularly swift progress. But you've chosen a direction, and
Yeah.
you're, by golly, you're sticking to it. And so you'll move for a few minutes, and the trees that were sort of glowy and reflecty will give way to more traditional looking maples and oaks. So you're in a sort of more traditional forest. That seemed to cluster around the location where you arrived, for good or for ill. You have heard your good friends, the wolves. They're getting closer,
Great.
almost like they're trying to hone in on your collective position.
Well, we don't really have any excellent way to hide our tracks, especially from wolves.
Yeah.
What is the natural enemy of the wolf in the Forgotten Realms?
Elves of bows, maybe?
Oh.
A little bit short on those, aren't we?
Okay, so let's start looking for a place where we can like hole up or defend ourselves. Or wolves don't climb trees, do they? I don't think wolves climb
think
trees.
so. No.
That's bears. I mean, as far as like
Thanks, Rhiannon.
actually
Always looking on the positive.
actually defending yourself from a wolf, you'd want to do that, like make lots of noise, make yourself sort of be like, hey, you don't want to mess with me, rather than like going down and like hiding kind of things. So I'd say we should raise our voices in our conversation and sort of like crash around, because anything that's going to come toward us is already going to come toward us, no matter sort of what noise we're making. And if we can sort of like scare away like normal animals, I think that'll be good.
Yeah, especially given that none of us are particularly, as far as I know, adept at stealthily moving through the wilderness.
Yeah.
Things are going to hone in on us.
Well, I was a Boy Scout once upon a time. That doesn't make me very good at
Yeah, I don't think they taught
stealthily
you.
hunting through the
Yeah, I
woods.
don't think they taught you woodland stealth. Like,
Well, you know, we have a lot of merit badges. Wilderness survival is a merit badge that I do have.
Oh, there you go. We'll see whether
So-
or not you've truly earned it in a short
I
while.
can maybe start a fire, and I can maybe light. I can maybe build a shelter. Those are the two things I can.
We
probably
in
do.
nature camp we got taught fox walking, but like that's the very sort of least that one can do to try to be quiet. So
I'm so embarrassed that I didn't pack a lighter. I meant to put a lighter in my pack, and it's like
It wouldn't work
what an
anyway,
amateur.
trust me.
Oh, that's true.
I was
Matches might
expecting
work.
fire
though.
or something. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're moving along, unconsciously perhaps increasing your pace. Maybe it's the nervousness that you have over the idea that there are large animals moving through the woods headed in your direction. It's hard to say. Eric is frantically looking about you for any signs of a way out of this mess, preferably with a big thing that says civilization this way. You're probably rifling through your pack, Randy. Like, is there anything else in here? Did I bring a flare gun? What have I got in this thing?
I have a
I've got my night.
chapstick.
Night vision
You
goggles.
brought night vision.
Oh my
Christ.
god.
They're
They
beautifully,
don't appear to be working though.
they're beautifully decorative. They are
Yes.
beautifully decorative. And
Oh, I have a report on how many novels my books have sold.
I have a drum. I can make.
That's a pleasant reminder of my real life.
there you go. This
Right.
is all fantastic news. I don't know whether you've gotten lucky, the gods are with you, or something else, but you will find yourself stumbling out of trees into another clearing of sorts. You're now in what I would charitably describe as a muddy track that's cutting across the forest that you are in. What is that, Eric? that you're-
Kind bar.
It's a kind bar.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe you
Oh.
can negotiate with them.
They'll be kind. Oh, wait.
The muddy track is about 8 feet-ish across, and there's about 15 feet of meadow from the edge of the trees to where you reach the muddy track, and it sort of bisects the forest in front of you, heading off, if it's bisecting it right and left in both directions, no discernible up or down, just sort of flat across the center of it. You can see with the reflected moonlight that there are ruts sort of carved in it. It has, after all, been raining not so long ago. And so someone or something has come across this muddy track at some point in time. You're now out in the open. What do you want to do?
Are there like horse hoof horse hooves in the tracks in the mud, and if so, which way do they seem to be pointed? Like the wheels tracks we couldn't tell, but like did the majority of traffic seem to be headed in a particular direction?
So you, Randy, will trot over into the center of the muddy track and you will begin looking for that information.
Yes.
Allie, what do you do?
Let's see. I think I'm going to I'm going to keep an eye out on the trees behind us just in case. Just because they were getting a little nerve-wrackingly close, and if anything's going to burst out of those trees, I want to, be aware at the very least.
And Rhiannon?
Well, so if Randy's looking at the tracks, I'm gonna sort of try to see down the track because, a gap in the trees, see how far, or if it curves or whatever, sort of in either direction.
Excellent. And last but not least, Eric?
Yeah, I'm going to look around to see if there are any other signs of people passing, like small objects or little pieces of detritus that they might have dropped. That would kind of indicate which way we should go.
All right, excellent. Is it safe to say that you're all roughly in the middle of the muddy track and all roughly about 10 feet from each other? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I'm not
Perfectly within range
go-
of a fireball. Yeah. Mhm.
Well, I'm not going to go far away from.
I go Ryuken. Does
Um,
anything happen? Oh,
no, it does not.
damn it.
If you could all roll 20-sided dice for me then,
Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
since you're all engaged in some challenge or another.
Ooh,
12.
7.
Okay, so we'll start with Eric. What'd you roll?
11.
All right. You will find nothing of tremendous interest of the sort that you are searching for. Rhiannon?
The 12.
12. Okay. Again, you can see that it's hard to gauge distance, but if you had to assess it, maybe 1,000 feet in each direction, the path just goes through the trees. It starts to curve or just leave the range of your vision at about that distance, but you can see fairly far. Again, this full moon thing is very convenient, probably. Randy, what did you roll?
7.
Oh, well, then you'll be able to determine that for the most part,
Mhm.
horses seem to be going right down this path,
Okay.
as opposed to they're sort of come from the left and go to the right.
Okay.
And then last, Allie. What did you roll?
I also got a 7.
All right, so 2 things worth noting. The first thing is it got real quiet there. There was regular howling, and then there just wasn't any howling at all, and that's not good. It's probably not good. And then you'll see a shadow for a moment, about 60 feet away through the trees, before it breaks out into the open. It's a wolf, but it's much bigger than any wolf you've ever seen. It's probably the size of the horse at the shoulder, and there's something wrong with it.
Oh, no.
I like, guys.
All right, so welcome to
Oh,
second
boy.
edition and how rounds work. This is the start of a round. You're all approximately 60 feet from this beast. And I'm going to ask you what you want to do before I ask you to do anything else. So we'll start with Eric. You're in my bottom corner, and I'll work my way around and switch it up back and forth. So Eric, what do you want to do this round?
Okay, well, I'm gonna pull out the sword, which is real easy because I was just holding it over my shoulder. I just I shout, hey, go away, hey, buzz off. Kind of waving the sword at it.
Excellent. Rhiannon?
Well, I mean, I said I didn't want the knife, but I mean, it's better than nothing. Like,
Right?
I'm not going to be sort of intimidating waving it. I'm going to like hold it where if it was coming at me, it would sort of like be coming towards the knife before it got to me.
Now, let me ask you a question. There's a very tall man with a very big sword gesturing in the direction of the wolf. Do you want him to be between it and you? Excellent.
I am the tank of the party. Yeah.
I'm 100% behind Eric.
I am gonna die immediately.
Randy?
I hold my knife ready behind my back, but I raise one hand to the sky and I say, Salune, fill your servant with your power that I may destroy any who oppose it.
Oh,
He really is Rogar, isn't he?
Let me
Oh my
introduce you-
God.
let me
actually, and I
introduce
should
you
probably
to-
do
That's worth it.
verisimilitude as well. Like, I don't want my hair in my way. If
And I
I've got
say
it.
it loud
worth a
enough that it
shot.
can hear me. You know, the beast can
It's
hear me. That's
worth
the
a
whole point,
shot.
right?
Yeah. No, it's yeah.
And
I'm
you know, maybe
sure-
it'll work.
I'm
But
sure if it's a lycanthropy, it won't have anything against Salune, so you'll be all set.
exactly.
All right.
gonna-
So if it goes after Randy, we know it's a lycanthrope.
I'm going to introduce you to another mechanic in my game. I call it the 00 roll. You did something wacky, so I'm going to throw these percentile dice and see what number I get. Thanks. I'm not going to tell you, but I did throw it. And Allie.
Well, all things considered, I'm not gonna get like in front of Eric, but I'll have my sword kind of out in front of me, and I'll start making noise and shouting at it and trying to make a clamor myself, just to kind of like add to the cacophony.
I should have recruited Joe Brassy for this game. He would know how to do swords way better than me.
You had a chance for ringers, Eric.
I
we
did,
go.
and I brought in Allie.
Yeah.
Allie, it's up to you.
I mean, I have martial arts training. I don't know if
Hey,
it's gonna
awesome.
help here, but like,
All right. So normally this is the point in time when I'd have you roll initiative, but I mean, really, no one is launching themselves in the direction of the wolf. And so as a consequence, it's really going to win. And it's going to come tearing out of the forest. It's clearly sees all of you. And it seems very happy about that and is coming in on a beeline straight for you. Now there's this big fellow in the front waving a sharp object in its general direction. Somebody else invoking the power of the goddess of the moon. And Allie standing there with another weapon off to, we'll call it Eric's left. And then Rhiannon quite wisely behind Eric as they come.
It's gonna jump on me and knock me down, and maybe Allie and Rhiannon can stab it while it's savaging me.
Like that maybe.
This is the plan.
while
This
I'm
is the
dying.
plan.
Plus side, you survive, you get to be a werewolf.
There you go.
Wait until he introduces the weapon speed mechanic, and then you'll see why this is the plan.
Yeah, we'll get there. So actually, it comes barreling straight at you, Eric.
Uh-huh.
But then when it is about 10 feet away, it breaks. The only question is, which direction does it break in? Allie, you've got a weapon out. Randy, your weapon's behind your back.
Yes.
Only, you know, of course, you have the power of faith. We'll see. But I'm now
Allie's
going
sword right here.
six-sided die to check. Oh, yes. It will pivot in your direction straight at you, Randy, and it will basically take a leap when it's a couple feet away from you and
Okay.
head straight at your throat. What are you thinking?
Should have brought the katana.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, okay, if the gods are really real and in the Forgotten Realms, and if she's listening, that would be a really good time to, like, you know, do something. But I also, like, will raise the knife between me and it so it can just land on the knife, hopefully.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, so your technicals behind the scene wizard, please be ready for the mark. I will describe it, and then when I have finished describing it, if you could kindly show it. This beast will come hurtling at you, Randy. And as it does, as it leaps, and your heart is filled with terror, and you this knife up in the hope that it will stop it, wondering if there is a god available to assist you in this moment,
Yes.
you will feel warmth blossom above your heart on your chest, and light will project out from that source. You'll see muffled under your clothing this glowing symbol burst into being. As it gets bright, some portion of it explodes with light, a solid red silver light, and all of a sudden there is a field, a luminescent field that bursts out from you, centered on you, that takes up an area 50 feet in diameter, and the wolf is thrown bodily away from you, landing on its side, scrambling to get on its feet.
He could turn werewolves.
If
This is so cool.
old noble wizard of behind the scenery, you could display the mark. Now, the mark was written or drawn by a friend of mine, and it is a little bit faint. So I don't know how big your techno wizard, there we go, your techno wizard can get it. The light burst forth from the gem on the thumb in that image. Do you see the image?
Yes.
Okay. All of you will notice it on Randy as it bursts forth in bright light from his chest and remains glowing for a moment. What do you wish to do by way of response to that? And we'll start with you, Alan.
What was that? Wait, that didn't look like anything like, I mean, Selune doesn't usually have red going on, right? Like, that was weird.
There are a lot of strange fates in the realms.
So that's Allie. Rhiannon?
I mean, this seems a little bit unfair. Why does he get to be Iron Man?
So jealousy,
I
understood.
mean,
And
look on the
envy,
bright
envy,
side.
yeah.
Look on the bright side. This means there's less chance that he's going to get himself killed.
I mean, so really what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand behind Randy now. instead
Oh,
of Eric.
I see how it goes. All I have is this fucking thing. Oh, sorry, that was the one.
That was the one.
You used up our one on that, man.
Yeah, no, here I am thinking like, wow, that's kind of ironic. Randy, the atheist is the one with the faith-based magic powers.
So frustration and also envy.
The gods
And,
have a sense of humor.
A little bit of envy.
Well,
Yeah.
those who the gods would destroy, etc., etc. So Randy, you will be filled with awe and delight at the fact that something happened when you asked for something to happen. So that must have been connected somehow. Cause and effect.
It was great. It made up
and
for
I'm
the fact
sure
that I
you'll-
peed in my underwear just a little teeny bit, but not enough to like,
just a little
just a
bit,
little,
just a little
like
bit.
there's a wolf coming at my, but I'm good now. I'm
And
happy.
you'll look down at your chest.
Yes.
As you do, you'll see this thing glowing.
Yeah.
You'll see the place from where the light burst forth, in particular luminance, start to
Mhm.
fade. And in fact, the whole mark starts to slowly fade away. But you have a pretty good opportunity to inspect it while it's still glowing.
Okay.
A wolf will scramble up from the ground and move at speed to the edge of that 50-foot diameter ring, which is really like an inverted or like a hemisphere centered around Randy. And you'll see at the edge of the light projected from this that there are more of those things out there, near on a dozen of them. However, they're hesitating to approach the edge of this field of light, which is now projecting out beyond your meadow and into the woods. And in fact, they're slowly getting ground from it as the mark is fading away from Randy's chest. You all have time to look at it while it's still lit up. So, feel free to peer at that image and deduce from it what you will.
I mean, I'm thinking 4 more uses is what I
So-
would suspect.
That might be limited use.
That's the Gauntlet of Helm, and then there's a
Yeah, I
symbol
was-
over it. So, Randy,
Yeah.
I know this is foreign to you, although you've been playing Rogar for a long enough time.
Yeah.
You should probably whisper thanks to Helm, the God of Guardians.
Oh, Helm. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Helm. Really appreciate it. Ooh, Eric. I'm sorry. Like, you wrote the whole Shadowbane thing, and then oh man, I'm sorry.
I'm not
like, you
taking
should've
it
been
personally. I
Okay,
did a lot
good.
of good PR for Helm, but I'm sure he
Yeah.
appreciates it.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Helm. And this guy,
Wait.
man, #1 fan over here. You should really
Wait, what year is it?
awesome.
I'm gonna look at my sword real hard, like
No.
fire. No, okay.
Is there like
Look.
tension there? Like, what are
Like-
we attempting to achieve with that sword, Eric?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think about making it able to hit those wolves.
Could you
Yeah.
Did you roll a 20-sided die from here?
Okay. Well, I did roll a natural 20.
Excellent news. Thank you very much.
Great.
Look,
The
I'm
sword
sure.
shatters in my hand. I'm like, oh, good.
I mean, I don't think you're just gonna randomly summon Shadowbane's sword. I'm not gonna wind up with shadow powers, more than likely. I want to know what year it is. Honestly, that could give us at least some context.
I mean, you want to ask the wolves?
No, I don't think the wolves know.
They're not
Well,
around
if we
to
can
inquire
if we
with
can
us,
find
or
my
if
friend
that-
M, maybe we can get you shadow powers. I'm just
I
saying.
take a few steps. Does the thing follow me? Is the radius of
It is centered on where you were standing when it went off.
Okay. We
So
can't
we're
just,
stuck here until it goes down, and then we're boned. Is
The
that-
wolves have
which is usually
retreated-
1 minute, right?
the wolves have retreated into the woods.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They did not like that. Whatever it was,
Oh, okay.
its boundaries, and we're not interested.
Okay. Because I was like, well, man, am I supposed to be concentrating? This is gonna last 1 minute? Like, what are the rules?
I
Okay.
don't know what the rules are.
Well, I mean, save the
Yeah.
other 4 because I'm thinking like if we're gonna get out of the woods, we should we should. I was gonna say we should make camp here, but if it's slowly going away, it's not gonna last for very long. But if we can use the 4 sort of strategically, where we're going out of the woods and something comes at us, and then go, and then
I hope you're doing that. Literally, like we're in the woods. You're like, and you get up, and yet,
I mean, you've met me, you know the
Yes,
gestures.
yes,
This
yes.
is why I don't have a
Awesome.
background. The gestures need room.
Yeah.
awesome.
Will
Well,
you be moving or remaining where you are?
let's move. Yeah, we've got this track here, right? We could see if that could lead us somewhere.
Oh, and I mentioned, and it looks like the tracks went to the right. So most of the traffic was headed to the right. So there must be some destination in that direction.
Worth a
Or
shot.
It it could be a destination in the other direction.
That's true. Everyone could be
That's
coming
unique.
from something.
Well, which is downhill? Because the rule is downhill.
I believe he said they were both level.
At
Oh,
this
okay.
point, they're roughly level. It's hard to say, and the track is muddy, so it's
Wow.
really hard to determine. There's no obvious inclination.
We're just gonna have to pick a direction then.
If only you had a digital level or some other kind of a device.
If only we had water. I have
Randy!
my thing full of water. I can put a little bit of water and see if the water runs in a particular direction.
No,
You know, I
it's
do
not
have
that
a little
important.
miniature level,
Okay,
but I
all
have
right.
to
No.
pack it in my
No.
bag.
All right. Does
Let's-
anyone need any
let's-
water? Anyone thirsty?
Let's
I got some
go in the
almonds.
direction of traffic.
All
Let's
right,
go
let's
to-
Yeah.
go that way.
Keep
Yeah.
up
All
your
right, so
energy.
Randy's gonna wet his whistle and offer you all water, but no one seems to want any, which is fine. And so you will all begin walking in the direction of traffic. Oh, Eric has already got his own beverages as
Actually,
well.
I will take water. Not,
Okay.
Not flask.
Yeah, I will have a water. Yeah.
We are definitely sure, yes.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's not water in your flask. Is that an accurate guess, Eric?
That would be an accurate guess.
Of
That is not
course.
one. I
Are
do
you
have
right?
a bottle of water though, so
Are you gonna have any of that, or
yeah, I'm gonna drink some of the water.
excellent?
Not
Okay.
not bourbon though.
So the night is, as I said, in the 70s, so comfortable, although it is a little humid. The sky is clearing, so that's some good news. It's not going to rain on you anymore while you're walking down this muddy path, but it is still humid. You'll walk long enough for you to turn around the bend, long enough for you to begin to assume that you've perhaps covered a mile or more. And you'll come to a section in the road where it starts to widen out from about 8 feet-ish across to about 12 feet-ish across. The forest is thinning, the meadow is widening, and you think you're headed downhill.
Okay.
Hmm.
As we're walking, I'll kind of idly muse. Anyone remember what Thay is supposed to look like? 'Cause I really hope we're not in Thay.
I guess it depends on the era.
Yeah, that's also a big thing. Again, really
Anybody
would like to
seen
know
a-
the year.
Anybody seen a newspaper?
Well, so we're
broadsheet?
in
Anyone?
deciduous trees.
That's
That is
assuming
correct.
we can.
Realms lore people. Is that meaningful? Because I'm used to evergreens.
You know, if Erin were here, she would probably
Nah.
know.
I mean, dark foreboding trees and werewolves, is that Ravenloft, or is that maybe just, are we like in north, like, you know?
I mean,
heading towards
Ravenloft's a
Rashomon,
whole
or-
other kettle of fish right there.
Yeah.
Those trees do resemble some art that I think I've seen before, and I think it was from very, very early era stuff, which tended to focus on the Sword Coast and the Heartlands. So we're probably in one of those places. That's my
Okay.
best guess.
Yeah. You think we'd be in the? I mean,
Chris.
do you think
Yeah,
we'd be in that era? Like, are we talking like what, 1350s here?
maybe.
Eric,
Probably.
roll a 20-sided die for me, would you? Try to avoid rolling a natural 20.
I rolled a 12.
Excellent, that's much better.
Okay.
Remember earlier when you were trying to determine whether or not there was any smoke? You think you smell smoke.
Huh. Well, smoke usually means one of two things. One of them is good. All right, let's go that way.
All right, so you'll continue on. Do you wish to share that with your companions?
Yeah, I told him about the smoke. Hey, I'm smelling some smoke. Maybe in this
Oh.
direction.
Yeah. Let's be cautious, but let's figure out what that is.
Does it smell like burning flesh? Because I do know what that smells like.
I won't ask how, and no.
It's like
It's not as
I don't know
interesting a
that.
story
Just
as
read
you,
about it.
as you think.
You can tell it to us over beers. Anyway, so you will keep moving for what you reckon to be another 10-ish minutes. You have no means of actually keeping track of time unless someone's got a timekeeping device there, haven't shared with me, other than their phones, of course. Very good then. What you estimate to be about 10-ish minutes. And you will sort of come to the edge of some forested land, sort of sitting at the top of what you might describe as a vale, sort of ahead of you, downslope from where you are. You've come across civilization of some kind or another. It's really a hill more than
thank the
anything
gods.
else. It's not a city or a huge town of note. It's about a half a mile away downslope from where you are, just guessing. It's got a dozen or so substantial buildings located at what is an obvious four-way crossroads. And this cart path you've been on is literally just that, a cart path that leads downslope into this four-way intersection in this community.
I want to
There's-
give Rhiannon the credit for picking the correct direction.
Well,
Is that
and
credible?
Rand-
Is that credit payable in something, or
That seems fair.
Randy,
I
Here,
know.
have one of these. These are chocolates wrapped in gold foil.
Oh, is that my bling bling from earlier?
Okay, so I got to explain the bling bling thing to Chris because he's
Go
not
ahead.
all that familiar with the stream. The audience can purchase bling bling rewards and inspiration for players, and a bling bling means that they come into some money or treasure of some kind.
I see.
So if you can work that into the game, that would be great. But you know, it's
I'll see what I can do.
so these coins, I imagine that chocolate is kind of rare and valuable in the realm. So you know, each of you take one of these. I have
Well,
Okay.
6.
Okay.
and I'll let you know I filled my pocket with 50 silver pieces.
You think those are gonna pass
i.e.
muster?
I don't know. I mean,
Well, there are a lot
they're
of
kind of
strange
like
mints in the realm.
It's
so
all
possible.
weight. So if they weigh the correct, then
yeah. I mean, they're debased with all kinds of weird stuff. I'm sure because they're American quarters. But
1964, you'd be all set. But sadly,
yeah. But I mean,
we'll get
yeah.
there.
yeah.
So this hamlet, as I was describing it, as I said, about a dozen buildings of note. There's smoke issuing forth from some of the chimneys, lights from some of the buildings, but the town is clearly abed for the night. So whatever time of night it is, it's fairly late.
Okay. Are
Um,
there any buildings with lights on inside? You know, candles, fires, etc.
There is one. There are, as I said, about 12 buildings of note, two of which really sort of stand out. One in the almost center of town and one on the edge of town. The one in the center of town is the one with smoke billowing forth from one of its chimneys, lights in and around it, leaking through sort of sealed windows, and it's a very unique design. It is what looks like a ship, like a caravel maybe, turned upside down, and that forms the roof and upper floors of this building. It's probably 80, 100 feet long, this thing. And the other building at the edge of town is a stone building, smallish stone building, but it looks like maybe a temple or an abbey at the end of a path with a low fence and wall around it. It, as I mentioned, is at the edge of this thorp, hamlet, village, and this other more raucous looking building sits at the center of it. In order to get to these buildings, one must go down the cart path past some farms.
Okay.
Okay.
well, lore folks, isn't the ship building like a thing?
There are.
It sounds
several-
familiar.
There are several places that
Oh, okay.
have shipbuildings.
I feel like that place where you got the dragon armor from that one smith, like that on the way back from the dwarven place. Remember that, Rhiannon, where you
Yeah,
like
I have
the
no idea
man
the
in the
name
van,
of that
the
place.
van by the river or whatever his name was.
So
Yeah.
here's a
I
concern.
want to say that place is called Revenseer, or something like Redenseer.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah. I do have a concern though. Obviously, the general conceit is that common is usually whatever language is being spoken around the table.
Well,
Mm.
we'll
We
see.
don't know what common actually is.
We'll find out.
Maybe the
Find out.
magic translated it for us.
So I'm thinking like whatever the shipbuilding is, it's probably tavern. And I would be inclined to try my luck at this time of night with the temple. Because
Okay.
that seems like charity. Maybe they wouldn't feed us, but maybe we'd like get in out of the weather, stay somewhere, try to talk to somebody. And I feel like our chances of like communicating are better with somebody at the temple than like drunk people.
If it is Redenseer, there's a good chance that's the Temple of Ogma, so it's relatively safe. So let's try that.
Okay.
All right, so you will
Agma, god of wisdom, knowledge, learning, etc.
head downhill towards the town. You have a bunch of weapons on you, I think.
Yeah.
I
Are you
mean, I
gonna-
put it away.
I
in my
mean,
pocket.
only the sword is really like openly super obvious.
And are you at all concerned about what you're wearing?
I have a kind of greenish coat here, which can kind of pass as like just a plain leather coat. So I'm not too concerned for myself here.
And I see Randy has a plan for this.
Randy, oh my god.
That doesn't make us look suspicious at all, does it?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, so I'm thinking like realms are not gonna like faint at the sight of a woman in pants. So
Nope, they shouldn't. Although, small towns, who knows?
Yeah,
I
they
mean-
should.
Don't worry, they won't faint.
I mean, yeah, we're both bepantsed, so
They'll assume
oh.
we're travelers, I think.
yeah.
Which we are.
Our clothes will look odd, but I don't think they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, ugh, like we're not gonna be like aliens to them.
I mean,
Let's
gonna
find
look-
out. Let's go.
They're gonna look at
Don't
Randy's
concern
shirt
at all.
and have opinions, but
I can zip up my sweater.
Would you like to?
Yeah, zip up my sweater.
Excellent. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
So you
no,
headed down.
I need one of Claudio Poses's shirts that looks like armor.
Also, if beards
That's-
are a thing, I brought a disguise kit, so just
Oh,
in case.
oh my
Um,
God.
Oh my god.
You mentioned that you're looking for bling bling. You guys are the bling bling. Like if
Yeah.
someone comes across you, think of all the things they get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, though, you're gonna put that on, and a dwarf is gonna punch you.
I can kind of speak Dwarvish.
Can you though?
I don't know. I guess we'd find out.
You can speak in a Scottish accent.
So
No, no,
you
no,
head-
no. It switches to German when he's speaking Dwarven, isn't it?
That's Mountain Dwarf.
That's Mountain
or
Dwarf.
Ancient Dwarven. And
my God.
Okay.
Hill
So you
Dwarf
head,
is.
you head downhill, and you're
Yeah.
passing the outlying farms. You'll notice that these are wooden buildings with barns and houses, no glasses, with glass in the windows, but shutters. There's stone fences at the property lines, livestock, sheep and chickens in the fields. It's a clear medieval level of technology at work. And it's clear the town is asleep. Simple decor. There appear to be, at each of the farms that you're passing, decorations hung. Hanging sticks, candles, things made of paper, flowers, lanterns, that sort of thing, as if someone was preparing for some sort of a celebration.
Okay.
If you could all roll a 20-sided die at the second farm you pass.
Ooh, I
14.
rolled a 1. Hey.
There you go.
Okay, so Allie,
I rolled a 3.
3, Randy,
19.
Rhiannon,
14.
and Eric's famous 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eric and Allie will notice as you're passing this particular house that there are laid out in the backyard on a flat section of the ground and on sort of like bushes, clothes and sheets that look like they were probably laid out here to dry, not necessarily anticipating the rain. There's simple peasant clothing, but there's a fair amount of it. Do you care about that at all?
We
I
could
mean,
take that.
We
I mean,
we
so
could.
so here's the thing. Like, my role in life is apparently to like be spouting facts that are not helpful. A suit of clothing for somebody in medieval times, they had like 2, and it would cost so much to make a new one that I really can't see, unless we were naked, stealing some poor person's clothing, because it costs so much to like
Yeah.
replace it,
Yeah.
or the time to work, to spin, to weave, to sew.
And why create a problem if we don't know there is a problem? Like, we haven't seen anyone react to our clothes badly yet, so.
We haven't
We
seen anyone yet.
anybody, So
Yeah.
It kind of depends on your perspective of how the realms operates and how similar it is to actual Middle Ages.
Oh, okay.
So,
I mean, these are the latest fashions in Waterdeep.
yeah, perhaps we could tell people that if we can even communicate with them. All right, I say we do not steal the clothes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, we're gonna attract attention, but I think we're gonna attract attention no matter what we do.
Probably.
So some of the party gladly passes the second farm. Some of the party, perhaps with some slight disappointment, passes it. But you all do pass it, in fact.
Yes.
You will arrive at the center of town because you have to go through it on your way to your destination. You'll notice that it is set up as if there is going to be some kind of a, I guess the phrase you might use to describe it would be a county fair upon the morrow. There are archery targets, there are tables that are clearly going to be piled with things, there are pens that are clearly going to be filled with somebody's prize pig, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there's that decor that you were spotting. Oh, and Andy's got a bow. You sure you don't have like some sort of a extra dimensional space over there from what you're
Yeah, I
playing?
didn't bring it because you said it was next to me, so I did that, and I had a staff ready too. But
Fair enough. So place is prepared for a fair, and it has little hand decorated, again, garlands and sticks and candles and flowers all over the place. It is prepared for some sort of a festival. As you are approaching the center of town, you will notice camped on the edges of town are caravans, anywhere between 8 and 12 wagons, all sort of circled with their animals on the inside. And you can even see a guard or two lazily walking around the outside of these caravans. Hey, that's the first person type thing you've seen since you arrived. There's nothing really out of the ordinary about them. They're armed in leather armor. They're medium height, medium build, medium hair color, medium skin tone. They'll glance over in your direction, but no one seems to care because they're maybe 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 feet away from you at this particular moment. And you're about to pass by a somewhat lively building. Oh, the somewhat lively building that you're about to pass by is probably about 80 feet. It's a stone foundation, about 80 feet by about 30 feet. It is with a wooden structure with the hull of a boat as the roof of that structure, probably about 3 stories in size. All shuttered windows on the first floor, porthole windows on the higher floors. And it has behind it 2 buildings, one a stone foundation very similar to the one that constitutes the bottom floor of this particular structure, almost as though they're putting another one up. And you can see the wooden supports emerging from under it. No boats, though. And next to that, what is obviously a stables. Doors closed, but you can see light sort of spilling forth from within it. As you're about to pass the building by, you'll see that it has a signboard, rather large one, hanging above the door outside it, with a simple faded image carved and painted into the wood of a large, crudely constructed man holding a boat above his head, sort of tipping over to one side. And there are 3 sets of runes in what are probably 3 different languages. One larger than the other at the bottom, and then 2 along the sides. Your tech wizard has 3 sets of runes that he can display for you.
Yep. Great.
Anyone know their
Given some time, I could.
I think the
decipher.
top one says something about Harry Potter's or lightning bolt and Harry
mean,
Potter glasses. So
I think no, Randy. I
I'm
don't
just
think
kidding.
that's what it is.
I know.
I'm guessing the sign means that there's a good chance this is the Giant's Folly, which is the name of the tavern in Redden's here. So yeah, that's probably what it says.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't know.
So,
I mean,
so we
should
can't
write that
read.
down.
Good to
maybe
know.
I could maybe translate some of that, maybe given time.
Well, I mean, medieval-ish, again, realms. society, that's why they have the pictures.
Oh, okay.
So they're sort of assuming people can't read.
Right.
So
Like
no
us,
one
we can't
here-
read.
No one here can read those runes as you see them.
No, but based off of Eric's assumption, then if that is true, then we now have a key to which we can start to decipher these things. So,
Yeah, but which
I'm
word
gonna-
is which?
well, Giant's Folly, I'm guessing. I mean,
Well,
I mean,
so like in my heart, I'm like, you can't just do a letter substitution that simply, because like other languages, adjective, noun, they change order and
Yeah.
There are
etc.
the two inverted T's, which is probably LL, right?
that's what I was thinking. It seems to like.
Could you all roll a
Rhiannon's like,
20-sided
stop it.
I mean,
It's not.
roll a
It's
20-sided die.
I mean,
for me?
this is even assuming what the language they speak is even remotely similar in construction to English. I don't.
I rolled a
Come on.
6.
I got an 8. An 8.
Okay.
Let me.
No, it's
let
not
me
gonna
see
shoot.
it.
See the camera's with me, Randy.
Allie.
I got a 9.
Okay, and Randy.
Oh, sorry. 6.
All right. You all have a fairly odd sensation as you're staring hard at these runes, trying to decipher them. It's like a squiggliness, I guess is how I would describe it, that occurs with the largest set of runes, which is the ones on the top, by the way. And it almost gives you a thing in your gut. You're writing this down. I see what you're up to. Do you have a pen and paper in game?
You told us to have one
Okay, so you have a pen
and write down everything.
and you're writing this furiously scrabbling. You feel that sort of like queasiness, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And the letters sort of leap off the page for a moment for you, but then they settle back into the runes that you see. It's almost as if you were your brain was trying to decipher them, but did not meet with success.
Mm.
While you are standing there, staring at this thing intently,
Yep.
the front door opens. And we'll take our first break.
Hey.
Hey.
All right.
All right. Yeah. I'll see us back in a couple more minutes for more Isekai Realms goodness. Don't go away.